No, you're fine. You're fine.
It adds to the ambiance.
It's called the Live and Amplified. It's called the other one. The other. Yeah. There you go.
He's like, don't take a picture.
No. That
Not the other
It's. Aaron's a good buddy of mine, so it's yeah.
All in the family, they say.
Right. Awesome. Are you running in circles?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Cool. Awesome. All right. So when did you play?
I played Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
I played with Anna Lamare, closing it out last night at the
Yeah.
River Stage. Then I played with Beach Angel yesterday.
Okay. I would have sworn I saw you out on the stage trying to set up for one of the bands out here, but then I realized quickly it wasn't you.
There's a whole lot of us with
Yeah.
these kind of hats, you know.
Fair enough. Awesome. So I'll do it. Be about 10 minutes. So,
Perfect.
cool. Awesome. All right. So here we go.
All right.
Welcome back to another live and amplified indie fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are here at In a Jam down by the river, 2024. This is day 3. It's Saturday. Yes. Okay. Day
Yes.
3. We're here.
Day 3. We're still here.
And we got a new, special guest joining us. We got Max. How's it going today, man?
I'm doing great, man.
Excited to have you here. We've been running into each other consistently since
Yes.
Thursday.
Yes,
And
indeed.
every time we cross paths, it's like, we're going to do the podcast. We're going to do the
Yeah.
podcast. And
Here we are. We're finally doing it.
Right. So how's everything been treating you?
Oh, beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Every year I come back here, I can't believe my eyes. It's the people, the music, the scenery. It just doesn't get better, you know.
How many years have you been coming?
This is my 3rd in a row.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes,
That-
indeed.
So that 3rd year was my first year as well. So
Yeah.
I was only there for like a day and a half, and then my dad calls me. He's like, "Hey, I'm in Austin. Come pick me up." And I'm like, "All right, I'm going to Austin, I guess." So
Yeah. I wasn't able to hang out my first year either. I had to leave and go out and do a whole little tour run, you know.
Right. So for anybody that's just kind of getting to meet you for the first time, who are you? What are you about? You know, all that fun stuff. Just kind of introduce yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I am a New Orleans native musician. I've been playing music out there since, I think, gigging, playing professionally since I was like 12 or 13,
Yeah.
doing whatever, you know. I'm a singer-songwriter on my own, but I find a lot of love and fulfillment being a hired gun and making other people's music sound as good as I can, you know.
Sure.
So I do a lot of that too.
That's really cool. So you're just kind of doing you've got your project that's like
Yeah.
your baby, but then you're not afraid to get out there and just go on the road to help somebody else make their thing.
I love it, yeah.
And so you're from New Orleans and born, raised, still live out there?
Yeah, I was born in San Francisco,
Okay.
but since I was like 2 years old, I've been in New Orleans. And
That's long enough.
yeah, it counts. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
so that's what I tell myself. You know.
Yeah, for sure. So growing up in New Orleans, what was the scene like? Because, you know, it's like very touristy heavy. You know, you
Yeah.
got like Bourbon Street, and I'm sure it's a lot of cover gigs, especially
Yeah.
coming up in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really beautiful thing. It's a beautiful city because the quality of the musicianship and the level of the culture is, no matter how far I travel, I'm always glad to be home for that.
Yeah.
But then gigging, it's you don't quite get what you have here in New Orleans. It's a lot of, you can pay your bills playing music, which, you know, that's one of the most beautiful things in the world.
Yeah.
But New Orleans is a city with a sound, and you play that sound and you play that repertoire, and you know, it's beautiful to be steeped in that culture. I wouldn't want to speak a negative word on it, but it certainly, that takes up most of the room. There's not quite as much of a room for a scene with like so many wonderful artists just playing their original music, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very Nashville in that way. Right?
Yes, yeah.
What- I mean-
Somewhat Nashville adjacent.
Yeah,
you know?
it not that Nashville has a signature sound anymore, because I feel like they've kind of
Yeah.
multiplied a little bit there.
Yes, absolutely.
But, you know, when you think of New Orleans, you think of the blue. You know, you just like all the jazz, the blues,
Jazz,
the
blues, the meters,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
And so, you know, if you're not playing that stuff, you know, it might be a little bit harder to get gigs.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So did you when you were first starting out in your musical career, is that what you tried to emulate or
Well, when I started out, I was a jazz guitarist. I went to school at the Arts High School, and I studied under Steve Mazakowski at UNO playing jazz. So I'd pick up jazz gigs around, and
Yeah.
you know whatever that led to.
Yeah.
But always on the side, I was a singer-songwriter, and I had a lot of friends who were singer-songwriters. And since I was, you know, trained in school and all, they'd hire me to come and play behind them. So
Yeah.
I've always had a little bit of both.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So and then kind of going into your own solo project, what was kind of the thought process there? Was it just kind of honoring your passion for singer-songwriting, or were you trying to just kind of find your own voice?
I feel like I came to the realization where it was the more you only have so much creative energy. It's a beautiful thing, but it's also an unfortunate thing. And it's if I'm playing 4 nights a week, doing covers or learning other
Yeah.
people's music, I can pay my bills. It's great. I get to do it what I love, but then all of a sudden I'm on my own at my house, and I feel like I want to write and I want to express myself, and just the fuel's not there. And I learned I had to feel fulfilled, and to be honest with myself, I had to kind of align my priorities in a different way. You know.
Very fair. Very fair.
Yeah.
Very fair. So this is your third year at in a jam down by the river. How are you feeling about this year's festival? How's your experience been?
It's been gorgeous, man. It's just so curated.
Sorry, he's been talking to me about wanting to do the podcast all night. And
Oh yeah, I love that guy, man. We were playing guitar together all night.
I see you. I'm waiting for you. So, but anyways, so in a jam season 5, year 5. Sorry about that. I have good feeling good about it, or
Feeling beautiful. It's better every year, man.
How have you seen it grow from year 3 to 5? Just like from it out, like really an insider looking in, but honestly an outsider looking in as well, because you know you're coming in from New Orleans and just as an innocent bystander, which
I mean,
I said
I wasn't lucky enough my past 2 times to really get to spend a lot of time hanging out at the festival. This year, I've been lucky enough to kind of be relaxed and spend the whole weekend here, and just the curation of the acts and the quality of the writing and musicianship is unparalleled. I've never really been to an event where it's small, it's still small, it's still intimate, it's still like you can get to know anybody.
Yeah.
But just the quality of the musicians is unfucking real, man.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah. It's something magical going on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's in the air.
It's like I was telling Dustin earlier. I was like, I came in Thursday, like at noon or whatever, and all day Wednesday, I was just kind of sitting around the house waiting to come down, and I was like, I don't know, something feels off, and I was really nervous about coming down here, even though I know half the people here.
Yeah.
It's just like, ain't nothing gonna go wrong, ain't nothing gonna happen, but just for whatever reason, it was just like, I don't know, something felt off. And then I came here Thursday, and I still had that off feeling. And then the second that music hit, like the first act went up, and it was the solo acoustic guys. It was Jason Custer,
that was
Matt Smith.
That was beautiful, man. I pulled up while they were playing, and what a welcome.
Yeah,
What a welcome.
They're sitting there just doing their thing, and I'm like, nope, I'm good. Like this is exactly what I want it to be, and all those, for whatever reason, because you hold something so near and dear to your heart, like. It's like this is a cathartic moment to be here.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, yeah. So after Inner Jam, what's kind of the plan moving into next year? That's kind of wild to say, but
I mean, I got some things in the works. I'm looking on releasing my first EP before the end of the year of my original material. I'm going back to New Orleans. I'm playing the Ozone Songwriters Fest. Ozone Foundation is out of Louisiana.
Okay.
They're beautiful. They do a lot of work just with the arts. One of their projects is getting instruments for
Yeah.
kids in need.
That's
and
really cool.
sponsoring. Yeah, it's beautiful, and they do a whole songwriter thing. I'm playing a couple of those stages, and then I'm playing with Beach Angel with my wonderful friend Kate O'Brien, who I played here with. It's a duo Thursday night. We're playing the Po' Boy Fest on Oak Street,
Nice.
which is near and dear to my heart. I live off of Oak Street. I'm a Maple Leaf regular. It's my home, and we're playing that, and it's
Nice.
gonna be a good time.
I keep seeing the adverts for the Po' Boy Fest.
Beautiful,
it-
man. They have a po' boy that's a block long.
Yeah.
A block long.
That's crazy.
ridiculous.
I really want to get involved in more of those town festival.
Yeah.
It sounds degrading to say that, but that's really what it is. It's like the town festivals.
Yeah.
Because they're not exactly this, but they're just like a good taste of
Yeah.
these magical moments that can happen.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's a different but still wonderful thing when it's down the street from your house, and you can go have an experience like this just for a day and then
Yeah.
go home after,
Yeah, and then it's all community based, so it's just kind of like everybody's there because they care about the community, or at least give off that perception that they care about.
It definitely feels like that, because you'll go to something like Po' Boy Fest and all your favorite bartenders are working at the bar
Yep.
booths, and
Yep.
all the people you know from going into your favorite restaurants are at the restaurant booths, and it's just like everyone in the community coming together and just celebrating life.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like the New Orleans vibe.
Yeah, I need to get into New Orleans and just visit.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this off the record. It's one of those things where it's like I've been talking about it so long. I've gotten some opportunities to move to like Lafayette or Baton Rouge or something, and then I have some friends that live in New Orleans, and like they talk about it, and it's like feels really cool. But then they kind of preface it saying, don't be afraid if you can't handle New Orleans.
Yeah.
Like that whenever they say that kind of scares me a little bit. It's like, what do you mean? It's like every other music/tourist city. What do you mean if I can't handle it? Like that.
Yeah.
That kind of scares me a little bit.
I think people like to hype New Orleans up. It's got that air, but to me maybe it's just because I'm from there, but
Yeah.
I got to watch myself a lot more when I'm in Austin than when
Yeah.
I'm in New Orleans.
Fair. Well,
If you can handle Austin, New Orleans isn't that bad.
yeah. I mean, if you're going down 6th Street, I feel like you can go down Bourbon Street. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you can go down 6th Street and not get shanked or stabbed or
Yeah,
something, you're
it's
probably
just like that. Like I feel like the thing about New Orleans is, it's all about community, and
Yeah.
I would warn someone who didn't know people
Yeah.
in New Orleans that wanted to go in there blind. Like, you might not be able to handle it. It's a lot to try and figure out if you only have 5 days in town. But especially in your career, if you know people from New Orleans,
Yeah.
if you know people in the scene that spend time in New Orleans that can direct you to the right spots, you're gonna have a beautiful experience.
Yeah, you're not trying to do too much, or you're
No.
in the wrong spots.
No, because a lot of like Frenchman and bourbon are
Yeah,
beautiful, and it's great to have that infrastructure with the music to keep musicians employed and to keep the culture of the city alive. But outside of that, I just like to shout out my favorite bar ever, the Maple Leaf,
Yeah.
uptown. It's removed from a lot of the more intense,
yeah,
more, it's only dangerous if you're, unaware, but it's removed from that. But I live down the street, and every Monday night, man, if I'm not gigging, I go see George Porter Jr. from
Yeah.
the Meters. And every Thursday night, I go see Johnny Vodakovich.
Yeah.
And every other night of the week, if I don't have a gig, I know I can go to the Maple Leaf and be inspired.
Yeah.
And there's 2 or 3 other places like that in the city, and it's just so wonderful,
Yeah.
man. And if you know the people to tell you about that,
Yeah.
just go to New Orleans and go to the Maple Leaf. You won't
Nice.
regret it.
fair, very fair. So if anybody wants to check out your music, any of that fun stuff, socials, where's the best place to find you?
Yeah, you can just look me up, Max Sanders, on Spotify, Instagram, anything like that.
Yeah.
I got more music coming out. I got a couple of singles out right now, but more to come.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a timeline on those new singles? Or?
Yeah, by the end of the year, I should have the EP release. It's going to be beautiful. It's with another one of my good buddies, Tuck Ryan, who I recommend everyone check out. He's from Philly. He ran Point and produced the whole project. I used his band, and it's going to be some wonderful stuff. We really made some magic happen.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Todd.
And thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will catch y'all later.
Peace.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Wonderful. Had me talking about my favorite thing, New Orleans.
It's all good. All right, watch your foot right there.
Yeah, you're right. Accident waiting to happen. Thanks again, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Appreciate it. And I'll shoot you a message on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'll just kind of keep you in the loop. Huh? Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Okay.
I slept and we did a little surprise. Dude, your set was. Hey, man. Later. Okay. Yeah, you're right. We're gonna do it. I might bring out my telly.